If you've been here before, welcome back. If you're new here, I'm Marcus T, and I'm so glad that you found this space. Welcome to and welcome back to Life and Poetry with Marcus T. I am Marcus T. And so far on this course of coming back to the YouTube space, we've unpacked a lot of things. We've unpacked some hard truths, some realities. Um, Basically, I believe I've done in a nutshell, uh, where am I now type coming back. And we're going to keep going with that same momentum and that same mindset, but just renewed mind. And we're going back into these new things, this new space. Um, I'm even holding the microphone today, right? It's really weird. I could have clipped it on my shirt. I probably should because it probably got a lot of feedback, but it's gonna be one type of videos today, right? We're going to dive into something that I wanted to do. I thought was pretty cool. This may be a lengthy video. Stick with me if you can. Write it out. I think it'll be interesting. Um, I think it'll be pretty cool. So today I'm doing a Q&A, right? I'm here on the channel. Uh, what I've done was I reached out to a select number of family and friends to give them the opportunity to ask questions that they've always wanted to ask but never have asked before. Along with those questions, I've also um, asked the AI platform to analyze my YouTube channel and to come up with questions that can come from a different space of things that they may see there that the viewers may want to ask but haven't asked. I've also asked myself a few questions in the mix thereof, where I think it's going to be a good melting pot of openness that's going to come to light here. I've only actually looked at a few of these questions. I don't know what they are, other than the one or two that I may have looked at before, and maybe a little more than two. But I've looked at a few. I've looked at a few as I've received them, but I haven't looked at all of them. I got them. I copied them, pasted them. I put them in a note, and I asked the AI to randomize the questions, the order of the questions. So I don't know where they're coming from, or what order they're coming in, what they're talking about, or even who they're from. Right? I'm intentionally not including in the names of the individuals who've asked these questions here. I don't want to put anybody out there if the question may be, may trigger some people or so on and so forth. I don't want to do that. I want to be. This is about here, being present, being open, being as vulnerable as I possibly can, and am allowing myself to be. That is the biggest thing that I am allowing myself to be. I think this audio is gonna be trash. I don't care. I'm just gonna upload it anyway. Next time I may clip it on. We'll see. We'll see how it turns out. But it's gonna be what it's gonna be, right? Also at the end, I've added some rapid fire questions. Spitfire in and out. There's a lot of questions, right? I think there's on the list there are 33 questions from the AI, myself, and family and friends, and then there are 13 rapid fire questions. Again, these questions are in a random order. I'm going to do my best to answer them as clear and concise as possible, while being as vulnerable as I can be, that as I'm allowing myself to be. But I'm going to answer every question. Right, it's what's going to happen. And yeah, I think it's gonna be cool, right? So this here is Q&A with Marcus T, from questions from family, friends, AI, and myself. Got it? It was pretty quick. Pause right there. It's really cool that I was able to go to the AI platform. I know people have this thing about it, and that's what it's going to be. You can either use it or don't. It's your choice to do so. But I chose to do something different. I chose to ask it to analyze the YouTube channel, the Life and Poetry YouTube channel, and go through the videos and see what they found, and see what it has found, and to randomize questions from content that's been uploaded from now, even before. There's a lot of things on my channel. There's over 200 videos on that channel. So I believe it's done its due diligence, and we shall see. But again, I don't know which question comes from who, but I think this will be good. Right. So let's jump right in. Guys, it's a lot of moving here going on, but I'm microphone's in my hand. I know you're gonna hear the probably hear the feedback, whatever, but this is gonna be as authentically raw as I can possibly get it. I'm not deleting this video. It's gonna come out as it come out. But let's go. We're gonna jump into the questions, randomized questions from the Q&A list. Question number one: how does it feel being married to someone who slams doors? Uh, I tell you, there is never a dull moment with me and my wife. I love being married to my wife. Whatever quirks we may have collectively, individually, it just makes it all the war. It's just it's so amazing to have it. Whether it's doors are being slammed or cabinets or whatever, it don't even matter. I love it all. Like I said, the quirks make this us. We are as we try to be as authentic as possible with each other. We do our best to love each other where we are, and I love it, right? So I love being married to someone who slams doors. That's funny. That's a funny question. Question number two: what is one thing people always get wrong about your diagnosis? This is interesting, right? If you've been on the channel before, you know the story of how I learned that I was HIV positive. If you are new here, here's a cliff note. Um, in 2000 and April of 2012, I was officially diagnosed with HIV. Now, this is the part here that people get misconstrued or just get just take it out just crazy, right? I was born with HIV. I was born July 1st, 1992. I didn't know I had it until then. When it's a long story behind it. Medically, there wasn't a law that you had to scan for certain diseases unless you knew to ask for them in the 90s. This law just came about in the 2000s. If I'm not mistaken, early 2000s, late 90s, early 2000s, where you had to it was mandated to scan for it. But before that, if it wasn't a part of your history, they didn't scan for it. I had I guess I'll say the luxury of not having to deal with the disease for the 20 plus years I was living until then. Um, but that's one biggest conception that was early on is that I got it from being reckless with sexual partners. That was not the case. I was indeed born with it. There are also other things going around. I remember this is a funny thing here. Oh, I don't want to put out there. There was a scenario that happened. I'm not gonna say who had the scenario. If they're watching the video, they'll know. But there was a scenario that one time when I came home from the hospital at the end of 2016. I came home with the walker and the wheelchair, stuff like that. And one of the scenarios were that this individual thought that I was may been hit by a car, and that's why I had the walker, so on and so forth. That's a funny story there. But yes, the misconception is that that it was on me that I did this here. Also another misconception about that people have about my diagnosis is that um, this is really so dark here that I was dying. That was a big one there, because of the connotation behind the disease itself. But yeah, I didn't get it from a sexual. I didn't get it from being sexually active. I did not get it from and this is a real thing here. Sharing of needles, anything like that. I was born with HIV, July 1st, 1992. It just didn't show its face until later in life. It happens. It's rare. It's fairly rare. The doctors tell me, but it happens, and it's happened. I'm a living proof that I'm a living proof that it's possible that you can live with this disease here and not know about it, and it can go untreated for some time, and stuff can happen. But yeah, so that's one of the biggest things people always get wrong about the diagnosis. Also, another thing here. This was one big thing earlier. I know I've been here for a long time. Hold on, the question first. All right, start. One big thing here when I first disclosed the diagnosis, that people thought that this is really just we were so ignorant now to think about it. We said it out. People thought that they can get this that I can transmit the disease just by touching them or being in their space. Some people turned away from me because of, oh, it's fine. They were meant to be in my life. That's what it's going to be. I don't lose sleep over it. But you cannot get this disease from just me touching you, hugging you, or being in your presence, shaking your hands, so on and so forth. It's not going to happen. And I'm not ever going to put you in a situation where I'm reckless and allowing myself to be as reckless as possible. Like that's not going to happen. All right, I'm gonna protect you just as I protect myself, and that's what that is, right? So that's that. Question number three: if you could collab with any poet besides Malachi Rivers, who would it be and why? That's interesting. So I've done the collab with Malachi. If you watch some videos came out in this new segments here I've done with the album No Signal Volume One, which is available everywhere. You can stream it everywhere. If I can collab with any poet and why, um, hmm, I'm gonna go back to Renaissance. I would love to collab with. Uh, See, it's funny because a lot of people think because he's my favorite, Langston Hughes, but right? I would love to collab, but we're gonna go back there, right? We're gonna take it back before maybe beyond the Renaissance. Edgar Allan Poe, right? Um, Story time. We're gonna pause story time. So in elementary school, I went to the elementary school named Edgar Allan Poe. I didn't learn who Edgar Allan Poe was until after I got out of school, which was interesting that the school was named after this man, and they didn't teach us about him in that school. That's neither here nor there. But I've learned his work over the years, and it's so left field for stuff that I do. It's so heavy, it's so dark, and I would love to have I would love to have had the opportunity to tap into. I know he's no longer with us, but if he was here today, if I was able to collab with any person right now, I think in this space where I'm at right now as a writer, to expand it into different avenues of writing, open up another side of my brain would be Edgar Allan Poe. There's a piece I love by him. It's a story called the Tall Tale Heart. Amazing piece, amazing story. It takes from this. It's just check it out. The Tall Tale Heart by Edgar Allan Poe. Check it out. I would love to collab with him because I went to his school and it would just make sense. I went to Edgar Allan Poe Elementary School, so why wouldn't I collab with Edgar Allan Poe if it cannot be with Malachi Rivers? Again, okay. Question number four: do you carry a lunchbox? Again, I don't know, these questions are about random questions. I know where this question came from, and I asked when I got the question. I asked what it was about, and they told me what it's about. It was from an episode of That's So Raven. It's do I carry a lunchbox? Okay, outside of the joking part of that, I used to carry a lunchbox. I love the lunchbox area because you can put anything in your lunchbox you want to, and mine was always a cup of cereal, a juice. I'll get milk from the cafeteria in school, and that's what that would be. So the UK lunchbox, that's funny. Question number five: if you could give your younger self one piece of advice, knowing everything you know about health, writing, and life, what would it be? If I could give my younger self one piece of advice, knowing about health, writing, and life, um, no matter what life throws at you, continue to write your story. It's not always going to go your way. It's not always going to be pretty, but you have the power to write your own story. Keep writing it, whether physical, spiritual, emotional, whatever it is. Write your own story. Don't stop writing it. That's what I would tell my younger self. Um, that's a heavy question. I mean, they got deep these questions, right? Question number six: do you usually write the poem first and find the meaning later, or do you start with a specific feeling? Uh, actually, actually, actually. So I used to write the poem first and then allow it to form itself as I was going to the end. I wouldn't even write a title for a piece until it was finished. But now I write off of the feeling, the moment, the memory, and I build off of that. If I don't have the substance now to write it, because I, I think the weight of the story itself um, allows the stanzas to breathe. As long as I have the story there, preset, predestined, ready to ride, ready to rock, roll, and go, I'm good. So yes, so now I have the meaning first or the feeling. I start with the feeling, the thought, the memory, and then I write the piece. Yeah, writing is fun. Writing is so much fun for me. Question number seven: do you want children? Easy answer: yes, I do. I want to have little babies running around. I want them to be able to be as free as possible in this world, be safe and healthy and sound. Yes, I do want children. I do. Ooh, yes, I do want children. I actually can't wait to be a father. I think I'll be great. I have god kids now, god children now. And we get them, they got to go back to their parents because they're not ours. But I know that when the time comes, that I'm gonna be a great parent, I'm gonna be a great father, my wife's gonna be a great mother, and we'll be a great team as parents. It's gonna be amazing. Yeah, when I become a parent, y'all will know, and you already know it. People talk about if you be a girl, they wrap it on your finger. Yes, yes, I have goddaughters. They already have me in a chokehold. Yes, yes, yes. I do want children. I look forward for that time to happen. Question number 8: who is your favorite author slash poet? As I mentioned before, my favorite poet, correction, is indeed the great Langston Hughes. Um, Now, my favorite author is indeed the amazing storyteller himself, Dr. Seuss. Look, don't argue with me, argue with your mama. All right. Dr. Seuss is an amazing. If you ever read a Dr. Seuss book, just know it's going to take you to a space of just pure imagination. That there is why I write now. My mama bought me all the Dr. Seuss collection in the '90s. It came with a little book bag. All them books came out, and it was just an amazing read. If I could find them today, the full collection, I would buy them for myself today. Yeah. So Langston Hughes is my favorite poet, and favorite author is Dr. Seuss. Question number nine. Question number 19. Wow. Question number 9. What has been the most surprising blessing in disguise since your journey started in 2016? Well, the greatest blessing for me was the realization that I can still be me in spite of. Um, 2016 taught me a lot of things. One of the biggest things it taught me was that strength comes when you sit still. Right, the blessing of learning to sit still was one of the biggest things for me because I was always moving. I was always doing this. I was working out. I was in school. I was working, doing all these things here. But having to sit still for so long and rest and rest and rest and rest and allow myself to just regroup in the midst of going through the hospitals and the rehab places and all these things, learning to walk and all this. It was a lot going on. But the biggest blessing in disguise was being able to sit still and just be there. Although sitting still was a lot to do. It's a lot to do. Idle mind, idle hands. It's a lot, right? Because that's that. All right. Question number 10: do you have daily pain? If so, how do you cope with it? The answer is yes. I do have pain. I actually have pain. Right, I'm sitting on the chair Indian style, what they call it, crisscross applesauce. They call it now. I do have pain. I do my best to work through it. I do my best to fight through it. Um, to cope with it, I just endure it sometimes. Sometimes you can't, you know, it's sometimes it's inevitable. If I'm walking too long, standing too long, my legs hurt, back hurt, stuff happens. I just endure it. I try to block it out as much as possible, or I just like I did in 2016. I allow myself to rest. I'm gonna sit down. I'm gonna get me some tea. Just breathe, be there and breathe a little bit. But yes, I do get daily pain, which includes muscle spasms. I have this jerk spasm I have in my legs that happens from time to time, and it is not cool when it happens when you're standing up because you go down. All right, you go down. You may be up, but you go down. So yes, I do have daily pain, and I just try to endure it the best I can. I day to day, day to day, and I prayed most days that there's a day somewhere that the pain doesn't happen throughout the day, because it can be a lot sometimes. All right. Question number 11: do you know the Muffin Man? The Muffin Man? The Muffin Man. Yes, I know the Muffin Man. I do know the Muffin Man. Now, I know this question came from a person who I adore so much, and it is a reference to Shrek. Shrek, when he was dealing with the gingerbread man, when Lord Farquaad was dealing with the gingerbread man. That sounds like a bad word when you say it out loud, Lord Farquaad. But yes, I do know the Muffin Man. He lives on Pillsbury Lane. Question number 12: when did you first notice that your poetry writing was a gift rather than an interest? Um, Actually, I didn't notice until I had the opportunity to do the uh, the collab with Malachi. I've been writing for some time. I've been writing since I was a kid, whether it was short stories, songs, um, essays, poetry. It was writing, which is writing for a point. I was just writing. It was something that I was good at. I never thought it was a gift until I had a conversation with Malachi, and he poured into me something so heavy, and it's really interesting. I put out 5 books, shameless plug, right, on Amazon.com. I put out 5 books, and even with those, I didn't think I never think it's a gift. I think it's just something I do. It's um, but I'm learning more and more that it's indeed a gift, that a lot of people don't have the gift of writing, gift of word. But he poured into me something so heavy, and he said to me that it was simply said, "This is my cousin." So he's like, "Cuz, you got a gift. You have to share it with the people, and no matter who likes it or don't like it, it's yours." And as I'm starting to realize that maybe it is a gift, that God gifted me the ability to write, to translate words into pictures, which is pretty cool. It's pretty cool to be able to do so. Yeah. So when Malachi told me that. Question number 13: Are you happily married? Honestly, yes, I am happily married. My wife and I have been married for 5 years. We got married on a warm day in November, November 7th, 2020. We celebrated our 5th year anniversary last year in November. And it's an amazing ride. It's an amazing roller coaster. The thrills, the excitement, the fears, all of it wrapped in one big melting pot. It's an amazing thing. It's amazing because not only did I find my wife, but I found my best friend, my life partner, the person who's with me through thick and thin, daily, every day, pouring into me as I pour into her. Um, yeah, it's beyond happy. Um, as a writer, sometimes we can find the words for things, but it's beyond words. Words couldn't compilate or compare to what I feel about being married to my amazing, lovely wife. Um, it's an amazing feeling. Yes, I am indeed happily married. See that? See that? Happily married. I feel like I get really close to the microphone. Happily married. This microphone's moving a lot of places. This audio is gonna be really different. If you just stick with me, right? Again, back to the question. Yes, I'm happy. Question number 13. Are you happy married? Are you happily married? Honestly, yes, I am. Question number 14. What does most of your material stem from? Early on in my writing, most of my material stemmed from, this is really weird. God would give me people to write about or to write for that I haven't met at the time. And when I would meet them, I would know this piece went for them. Um, but now most of my materials, it comes from what I'm going through in that space and time. What I see outside, what I'm feeling. It's more so me now as I'm getting more comfortable being vulnerable with my work, with my words, with sharing my gift with the people, and not just writing it just to write it. Um, but most of my material now comes from me. It's stuff I'm seeing, I'm feeling, the emotions, the senses, all these things. Whether it's a memory that triggers somewhere in my mind. Like point case, the other day I was writing a piece. I had a memory of something that was happened in my childhood, and it sparked a flow of a sentence, which turned into a stanza, which turned into a piece, which was pretty cool. Um, and yeah, and that's I think, and even those pieces like that probably won't see the day of light because they're there for me. I write for myself sometimes too. I'll give myself a piece, and it's been a pretty cool journey. But yeah, most of my material stemmed from things that I'm seeing, hearing, feeling that I'm going through, so on and so forth. Question number 15. That's a lot of questions. Dang, it's a lot of questions. Question number 15. If someone else got wait, if someone else just got a similar diagnosis today, what's the first thing you tell them? Well, what I won't tell them is that it'll be okay. I don't like it. I get that you tell the cliche, the protocol to let somebody know it's gonna be okay. But at the moment, most people don't want to hear that right now. They're in a space where it's gonna block that out. But what I would tell them, if they had a similar diagnosis today, which is the paraplegic, the partial paralysis of the legs and the HIV diagnosis, that tomorrow's a new day. Keep fighting, and when you can fight, fight some more. When nobody's fighting for you, fight for yourself. But no matter what, you keep fighting. Give it everything you got. Give it everything you've got, because one day you're going to wake up and say, you know what? I am doing great in spite of, because I kept fighting. Listen to me. Keep fighting no matter what. Just keep fighting. Question number 16. What's the most embarrassing thing you've ever done? This is funny. True story. Myself and a couple of friends went to the movies one day. We had finished classes one day on campus. I think we finished classes, or we might have we finished classes. I don't know what happened. We were out hanging out. And we went to the movies, whatever. And I had to go to the bathroom, and I saw the sign that said restrooms. I went through the door, and I'm looking in the bathroom. I said, "Oh, this bathroom really cool, but they got all stalls." I've never seen a men's bathroom with all stalls in it, like privacy stalls. And I went in there, and the toilets were really low to the ground, like hey, that's okay. There's no urinals. There's just all the toilets and the stalls. And I come out, and my friends are laughing, and these people, strangers in the hallway, laughing, watching me out the bathroom, and they say, "Bro, look what you just did." And I look back, look up, and I walked into the women's bathroom and used the bathroom in that bathroom. It was so clean in there, y'all. I tell you, it smells so good. I should have known. I should have known by that alone that it was not the men's bathroom. It smelled really good. It was clean. But luckily, there was nobody in the bathroom other than myself, so that wasn't a thing. All right, that no, just me was I was just me and me alone was in the bathroom. But I used it and I cleaned up. I didn't make no mess. But yes, I went to the women's bathroom by mistake. That was probably the most embarrassing. It was more so embarrassing because the stranger stopped, right, and looked and waited for me to come out the bathroom, right. And you would think they stopped to go in the bathroom after me. No, they didn't. They stopped to see me come out the bathroom, and we laughed. They walked off. We walked off. It was a good haha moment. But yes, that was an interesting day. Question number 17. Which of your poems hit the hardest for you to read out loud because it's so personal? Um, Early in my writing journey with my diagnosis, I wrote a poem called I Carry a Secret. Um, Originally, that was probably one of the most hardest poems to read out loud because it was personal and not too many people knew about it that in that space. I'm at a space now where I'm more vocal now about the diagnosis that it doesn't bother me anymore. But the one that impacts me the most to read out loud was I wrote a two-part piece. In honor of my father, which it tells his story. Um, and sometimes you go back to it, and it just makes you. It takes you to a place emotionally that to read it out loud sometimes it's okay. I don't, he's been gone for some time, and I was attached at his hip. You saw him, you saw me. So to read that piece out loud sometimes it gets me. But it's actually in one of my books. I think it's in my book. Reflections. I was reflecting on the time. I was reflecting on him, and I wanted to share his story. He's an amazing story of triumph. That's one piece, one poem. I know it says which one of your poems, maybe one or so, but another poem I wrote, right? I'm gonna give you two. It's a poem about my brother who passed away, and it's really impactful because I felt at the time that his passing, because it was so abrupt, it was so it was just so out of pocket of just getting the news that it happened. That I thought, you wake up from a dream, okay, this is a dream type thing. I'm like, God, you playing a really messed up joke right now. Um, so I wrote a piece in honor of him, and he would never get to see it, hear it. Just like my dad would never get to see or hear the pieces I've done about him. Those pieces are hard to read out loud. Um, and I don't think nobody's ever even seen the piece that I've written about my brother before. It's not in no book. I don't think it's nowhere else, nowhere. Um, Correction, it's actually on YouTube, I think. One of the poems I did for him is on YouTube, but another one is that's just me. I'm keeping the chamber for myself. My brother passed. Yeah. Um, just that's yeah. That's. I'm moving to the next question. If you guys will permit me to do so. Question number 18. During your diagnosis, did you ever question God or get mad at Him? To be honest and transparent, yes. I was furiously frustrated and just a lot of words came out. A lot of bad words came out. Profanity, vulgarity came out of my mouth and out of my heart because it was I had the notion of how could you allow this to happen to me when I've done all I do to honor you in life and these things. It's cliche to say, but I'm a great person. I'm not this, I'm not that. I'm not out in the streets being reckless. I'm not doing stupid things with my life. I'm living good. I'm doing good. I'm X, Y, and Z. But you allowed this to happen to me, and all that transpired throughout the time. And yeah, I'm gonna leave that there. I'm at a better space now. I'm not still there. It took me a while to get out of that space though. But yes, to be honest, I was indeed questioning God, and I was mad. I was furious. I was furious. He and I had a good conversation one day. We cried. And I think God cries with us. I was crying in that I was in that bathtub. I was sitting there just crying. Also, I couldn't move. I was, my legs don't really work like they're supposed to. So I was sitting in the bottom of the tub just crying for it. I was, just sitting there till the water got cold. But yeah. So yes, I've been mad and I've questioned God during my diagnosis. Question number 19: if you could eat one meal or food for the rest of your life, what would it be? I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't. One meal or food. Okay, meal, right? I like Thanksgiving food, right? That's a meal, right? Give me some that baked chicken with the stuffing. We call it dressing, whatever you want to call it, dressing stuffing, whatever you want to call it. Some cornbread, candy yams, mashed potatoes and gravy. Yes, there's the double starch. Stick with me. Candy yams, mashed potato and gravy, right? A little cornbread. I said cornbread. I'm saying cornbread. Little collard green kale mix combination going on there, a little bit there going on right there. The full Thanksgiving plate. I like that. That's probably I can do that for a long time. I don't get tired of Thanksgiving food. I don't care what nobody say. I don't get tired. I love a good a meal like that. It's yeah. It transcends happiness in my belly, in my tummy. As that man said on Austin Powers, get in my belly. Yes, I love me a good Thanksgiving plate. So that if I had to, I would. Yeah, or a bowl of cereal. I mean, I'm lactose intolerant, but it'd be all right. Right. Um, question number 20. We almost finished. We're almost there. Almost there. Stick with me. Question number 20. Let me at? When did you first discover your love of poetry, and when did you realize you were good at it? I first discovered my love of poetry, not in Egon Poe Elementary School, right? I didn't know that man was a poet, but I discovered my love of poetry when I first discovered workings by it was a piece by Emily Dickinson, believe it or not. I believe it was called The Raven, and it was so mysteriously dark. And I'm like, I want to read. I think I can match that. Let me match to see what it's about, right? And in that space, I discovered other writers, and I got I was moved to W.B. Du Bois, and I moved there to Langston and Miss Maya Angelou and authors like that. It was just it was a melting pot of writers, and even a lot of indie writers that you may never know about, unless you actually go back and look them up. Um, but even lyricists, songwriters were in the same capacity for me. 'Cause I believe if you can write a song of rap, you can do poetry. It's really weird to say, right? Um, but I think I discovered that when I read that piece because it pulled me in. That Raven piece, it really pulled me in. The story that it conveyed pulled me in. But when I realized I was good at writing it, it was shortly after I wrote my first song. Believe it or not, um, my father had a band, and I wrote a song for his band that they sung and recorded. And after that, I tapped into something different because my teacher at the time had an assignment. We had to write a poem in I believe it was either sixth or seventh grade. We did this piece, this assignment. And I remember because the assignment was to do a poem like apples and oranges, right? A rhyme scheme poem, A B type rhyme scheme. But the theme was apples and oranges, so we had to write the poem about apples and oranges, and it was so fun to write because it was okay. We're writing about apples and oranges. Like, how could this be something that can be uniquely special? And the teacher told me at the time that I had a way with words, and I think at the time, honestly, I just came off the songwriting thing, so switching to the poems, which is that I guess it was a path that was bound to happen, I guess. But that's I realized, but I didn't realize I was truly, truly, truly good at it until I was told that I needed to put out a book because people need to see my work. And so many people was encouraging me to do so. They were reading my pieces and people just supporting it through and through. I think that was a big aha moment. Okay, I may got something here. Right? This video is really long. It's not gonna be part two. Right? We at 36 minutes right now. It's not gonna be part two. It may be a little bit shorter by now because I got edit some stuff out. You don't worry about it. We about 30 minutes in. It don't matter. Sit with me, right? So that's when I realized I was good at the writing the stuff. All right. Question number 21. Last night when you dreamed, did you have a dream about us? That's funny. Right? I remember that's it's funny because the movie it was a thing like man he said last night I had a dream about you. That's funny, right? Yeah, I had a I don't even think I had a dream last night, which is pretty funny. I went to bed and woke up, but I know where the question came from. Um, we see we got some good softball questions in here, which is pretty cool. Um, Here was. Question number 22. What prompted life and poetry in the midst of COVID, the coronavirus outbreak? I was sitting at home one day and I was sitting at home one day and I decided to do something different with my time because I idle time, idle hands. I can't do nothing. I can't go outside because of fear of me getting sick because of my diagnosis or condition, whatever you want to call it to be. So what I did, I sat in the corner one day and I was doing something on the computer, watching YouTube videos, and I had said, "Man, that's pretty funny." I was watching some pranks on YouTube. I said, "Man, I could do some videos like that." But I'm not about to prank nobody because I'm me walking around to walk outside is a whole prank by itself. I would assume so for most people. I think I'm faking it. But I was like, I was sitting one day, I was like, yo, then I watched a video on YouTube where an individual was sharing a story about something that they had went through. And I was like, oh, that's interesting to be as vulnerable to do that. And I was talking to God one day and he had said to me, um, share your story I'm gonna paraphrase it here. Share your story for the masters so the masters can be healed. Or something along the lines. I don't think I've ever even told anybody this here. Um, but I was sitting with it in prayer, and I was like, God, I want to be able to share my story. If I have to do this, let me share my story in a way that is profoundly impactful. Um, so that started Life in Poetry, the YouTube channel. Then shortly after that, I started Life in Poetry Productions, the business of it all, the umbrella company, which Life Poetry with Marquis under whatever, which we do the publications on and so forth. And it's really built to just share the story of life in my poetry, really. Life is the diagnosis, day to day walk, and just the writings, the poetry, which is pretty cool. It's a gift, they tell me. It's a gift, they tell me, right? So, question number, and I'd say where we at? Question number 23. Do you ever get angry with God? I guess that parallels to the other question. But yes, at times I do because sometimes I just want things to work out. Sometimes I want things to be okay. I want things to be better. Not even just for myself, but those in the world, those around me, those are connected to me. Um, and my patience, as they tell me, and what it's supposed to be. So when God say wait, sometimes I don't like to wait because waiting is it's so much in that waiting process for me. But yes, I do get angry sometimes. I'm human. I'm human. Sometimes you tell me stuff I don't want to do or tell me stuff about me I don't want to hear. And I get frustrated. I get angry. So yes, I do. I'm human, people. I am human. I am human. But I still love God. All right. That's my guy. We here. Right? We here. We go back. We go back like two seats in a Cadillac. Lean back with it. You know what I mean? Question number 24. How do you handle the days when you just don't feel like being strong or inspiring? Those days are really tough because they're becoming more so recently in the latter year, coming to the surface more. So I've learned to suppress them early on through a lot of things, but as you suppress things so much it just starts to explode sometimes. But now it's so downing to be in a space where I just don't feel like being strong or inspiring because I have to be strong every day for myself or for those who may be on my team or looking up or whatever, not idolizing but encouraged by what I do and how I keep going. But sometimes, damn it, I don't want to be strong. I just want to be. I just want to be. I just want to be. And those days come hard, heavy, and they hit hard. And I'll sit in the pocket and I'll just be there. I'll be there, and I won't move from it because, like I said, I'm human. I've been struggling for a long time with a lot of things, and it's not that it doesn't get easier. It's that the weight gets hard to carry and manage sometimes with the diagnosis, with things, and there's just so much happening sometimes. So, yeah, I sometimes I just be like, ugh, just give me 50 feet. Question number 25. We almost finished, guys. 25. How, correction, have you always been poetic? I don't think so. I've always had a way with words. Um, Poetic is more so now. You extend your vocabulary a little bit, but I guess so. I guess so. I guess so. Yeah, I mean, I coined myself Mr. Poetic that early on in my writing career. But I don't believe I've always been poetic. I've always been a writer, but I don't think I've always been poetic. 26. Would you move out of state or far away? I've never thought about it before. I like being close to family and friends, but if God sees fit one day and say, "Marcus, pack your bags up and your wife and pack up their truck and go," I I I, I may be reluctant because of change sometimes for me just it doesn't always work well. And I like having the village around sometimes. But if you have to, we have to. You know, I won't block what God does for me. If He says go out here to go there to do this, I guess I got to go. But it's never been on my mind before to move out of state. Um, if it happens, it happens, and that's yeah. I reported your family's video so long. I ran out of space on my iPad. All right, so this is gonna be the second part of this segment. It's either a second video that you watching right now or just a continuation of the first part. But let's see if we can get through it without running out of space again, right? We stopped on question number, we stop at moving out of state, right? Question 27. So we'll move to question 27. Does writing poetry make you feel more vulnerable or does it make you feel in control? Um, there is no, it's funny because I was talking through this question as I looked up in that passage without a story, right? But as to recap what I said, um, I don't believe that there is any control. I have no control of how I write. There's no control. I write as I write. It comes out. Um, but I don't believe there's control in it for me. But vulnerability, yes, it's allowing me to open up in ways that I haven't done before. Creatively, artistically, as a writer, yeah. So more vulnerable indeed. Question number 28. If you could go back to Marcus of 2016, what's one piece of advice you would give him? And that advice would be to fight for tomorrow. I think I would stop on this question. The fight for tomorrow, because tomorrow's another day to keep fighting. In a nutshell, tomorrow is another day to keep fighting. Don't give up. Keep fighting. Just my message is always to keep fighting. Is always keep fighting. Now we have a good fight. We keep fighting. We fight for some more. And we can't fight. We fight a little bit more. Um, Marcus, you gonna go places. Just keep fighting. Keep fighting. And don't let what's happening now to dictate your tomorrow. Keep fighting. That's a message. That's a message for somebody. Just keep fighting. Question number 29. Are you ready to start a family? And what does that look like? And will that be a part of your next book? Yes, I am indeed ready to expand my family. Yes, to have our children. I look forward to it. I look forward to being a parent, a father, a girl dad, a boy dad. I'm going to be a parent. I'll be a great parent. We're gonna do fun stuff. All right, I'm looking forward to having tea parties with my daughters, or daddy daughter date days and date. We're gonna go out. We're gonna have fun. We're gonna do. All right. I know it's not all glitz and glam, but I do look forward to being a parent. Like I said before, I have the pleasure of being a godfather to some amazing, beautiful children. I look forward to having those of my own. Will it be in my next book? Will it be in a book? Possible. Got to stay tuned to find out. Got to stay tuned to find out. All right. Question number 30. What is a hobby or interest you have that your YouTube audience would never guess? A hobby that I have or interest. Well, yeah, I know I like hats. I'm always wearing a hat somewhere I go. I don't think I have any that you don't know. I don't really know myself if I have any hobbies or interests that nobody knows about. I used to collect watches. Um, I don't know. I don't know. I might actually sit down and think about that one. I really don't know. I really don't know. That's actually a good one. That's really good. Do I? I don't know. I don't know. Guess we gonna find out. I guess we gonna find out. Yeah, I was really messed up that this video ended the way it did. There's only like 6 more questions. I could have finished the video. They could give me some more space with this app pay. And I ain't buying no more space. Being transparent, it's enough space and been bought. I'm not buying no more space. Let me stop before I run out of space again. All right. Question number 31. You've been deep in writing lately. What's one poem or line you're most proud of right now, and what sparked it? Um, what's one poem? What's one poem? Okay, I've been writing a lot, but I wrote a poem recently, a couple months ago, called "Permission to Be." Um, it's basically about me giving myself permission to feel how I feel, to walk through what I walk through, to process stuff, and to be me unapologetically. I give myself because so often we rely on others to give ourselves permission to do something for ourselves, and I just can't do that no more. It has to be me first when it comes to saying yay or nay, yes or no for what affects me. Um, yeah, that piece is so impactful for me. I've been unpacking a lot of stuff about me over these past few months, and it's been a journey. But that piece, permission to be, if I have it recorded, I'll put it on the channel. If not, I'll record it for you guys and drop it on the channel so you guys can see it, hear it, or whatever. So yeah, that's for me. I sit there. Um, 32. What does a perfect day look like for you when you aren't focused on doctors or recording? A perfect day for me is just me sitting on the couch or sitting with my wife, going outside with my wife, just enjoying time, enjoying space to be able to breathe. Um, so often I forget to breathe physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. I forget to breathe sometimes, and I just want to be just those spaces where you can breathe and not worry about nothing, not worry about a bill or this or that. Just those times. That for me, that's a perfect day. I'm sitting there just chilling, relaxing with myself and my wife, having a movie date or a date days. We don't do date nights, we do date days. We need to get back to it. We gotta get back to a lot of stuff happening. It's a lot going on. But yeah, for me that's a perfect day without worrying about anything. Um Question. Oh, this is last of the okay for the regular question. 33. What's your biggest goal for the channel by the end of this year? The goal for my channel, it used to be getting up to the thing where I get my plaque. I don't if it come, don't it don't. The goal for the channel this year is to reach new people, to continue to share my story to a broader base, and to just continue to encourage somebody. If I can just get one or two or three, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with it. I just want to be able to get the encouragement of somebody and to be able to use this platform, the Life and Poetry channel, as a catalyst, as a catalyst for somebody else who's going through something that's feeling like maybe they don't feel comfortable enough to share their story. It gives them maybe they can look at what I'm doing and say, you know what, maybe let me step out on faith like that and see what happens. If that happens, I will be elated. You know, to open the door for somebody to be able to be open in a space like that, to be free enough to say, you know what, I'm going to share my story, no matter what Tom, Dick, or Harry got to say about it. It's my story to share, and that's what it's going to be. That's that, as they say on mothers. I'm joking, right? I'm kidding. All right. So that's the end of the questions, guys. Again, I'm just gonna edit it in that video. It's gonna be a long video. You watch it. I'm sorry. It's gonna be it's gonna be a wild video. All right. But yes, let's end those questions, right? So let's move to the rapid fire questions. Brr, brr, brr. Sound effects, sound effects. I ain't got none of that. Ain't gonna be no sound effects. All right, I just told y'all the iPad ran out of space. Let's get this done before it happen again. All right, let's keep rolling, keep going. Right, rapid fire questions. We're gonna hit that back with speed round, speed round, speed round. There are 13 questions. Right, ready, set, go. Question number one: pen and paper or typing on the phone? Right now, I prefer typing on the phone. Question number two, rhyme or free verse? Free verse. I love those just write and go. Question number three, music on or total silence when you write? I like distractions, so music when I write. I love the writing chaos. Question number four, morning inspiration or late night thoughts? Actually, I like late night thoughts. That's when they marinated, they just ready to go. Late night thoughts. Coffee or tea? Tea, of course. I love a good glass of hot tea in the morning. Early bird or night owl? I'm actually both. I'm actually both. Favorite comfort food? It is cereal. No doubt, it is definitely cereal. Pizza, close second, but cereal is definitely number one. Mountains or beach? I can't swim. I'm scared of heights, but I do love the beach. It's something about comes about. It's the beach. Um, Nine. The last song you listened to. Uh, um, 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 sh- Bad Boy by Luther Vandross. I know it's another piece of title behind that, but look it up. Bad Boy by Luther Vandross. Um, One word describes your journey. Um, it's a compound word. Hard as hell. I'm not joking. Resilient. One word describes your poetry. Uh, Poetic. Poetic. Yeah. Lost words, right? Question number 12. One word describes your future. One word describes your future. Um, continuation. A continuation. 13. Last question: introvert or extrovert? I am what they call an introverted extrovert. I'm an introverted extrovert, right? I'm a combination of both. Guys, poetry. We're finally at the end of these questions. I'm tired. I'm thirsty. My mouth is dry. We've done it. I don't know. This video is really going to be fairly long, guys. If you made it to this point, I appreciate you. And if not, you won't see this part, and that's fine too. But yeah, guys, let's create those safe spaces for people to be able to open up and be vulnerable like this here. If you have any questions that you want to ask me directly, you can always reach out to me on my Instagram, which is at officially.marcus.t. The links are somewhere in either in my one of these bios somewhere or in the links are somewhere here. But just reach out to me or comment down below. Hit me up. Let me know if you have any questions you want to ask, and we could talk about some stuff because that's what it's about. It's about being open and transparent, and as vulnerable as I am willing to allow myself to be, as I give myself permission to be this way. Guys, Life and Poetry fam, I thank you guys so much. I honor you for being you. I hope and wish for you nothing but the best as we move through this year. Um, and as always, guys, keep fighting, keep fighting, keep fighting. And remember, it's never goodbye. So I see y'all later.